Hello fantastic people, I hope you are doing great. Today I would like to show you my way of creating characters in Blender. It is very simple and very flexible. It will allow you to create different types of characters using different low poly styles. Using it, we'll first create a simple character template and then 3 different characters: elf, British gentleman, and cyberpunky lady warrior. Let's do not waste any more time and let's get started. So as usually I start by deleting everything from the scene and adding the cube. I'm changing my orientation a little bit, then going to edit mode and moving this box up, and this will effectively be the head of my character. So I'm creating extra edge loop here in the middle, then changing to the face mode, wireframe view, and then deleting half of the faces. I added the mirror modifier, so the other half of my character will be done automatically, because I'm lazy. And now I think I can add the body shape. So I'm adding another box here, adding another edge loop, as well deleting the faces, making sure the clipping is enabled. Then, yay, everything works as expected. Nothing weird there. Then I'm going to scale this one a little bit. Maybe this one as well. S and Y. And then I'm going to move this face a little bit to the back. That will do it. L to select the whole shape. So if you press A, it will select all faces or all the objects. If you press L, only the ones that are connected. So this is pretty handy thing to know. I'm moving this one up. I think I will need to move this one a little bit in the x-axis. That will do it. Now time to add the arms. So cube. And now we have to make sure the clipping is disabled, because if we try to drag the cube, this will be basically, it will be merged in the middle. So clipping, moving to the front view, over here, scaling it down, moving it over here, grabbing the bottom face and moving it maybe over here for now. Let's leave it like that for a second. We'll adjust that when we add legs. So I'm adding another cube, then scaling it down, again moving to the front view. Okay, putting it over here, then grabbing the bottom face, moving down, scaling a little bit up. Still important that clipping is disabled, because if they cross and I would have clipping enabled, I wouldn't be able to detach them. So over here, then moving that a little bit to the side. And maybe I'm going to make the legs even shorter, something like that. Yeah, that will do it, I think. But then the arms are a little bit too long. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move that up. Awesome. And then extrude it for the hand. So I'm going to do the first extrusion. I'm going to select this small edge loop over here, scale it down, then select this face, scale it in the y-axis, then extrude it to the bottom, and again scale it a little bit, move it a little bit to the front, then adjust position of this face, or rather edge, this edge, and maybe extrude it once again, scale it down, move it forward. This face made us amazing place for the thumb, so I'm going to extrude that, then selecting this edge and pressing Ctrl X to dissolve it. And then we have this amazing place for the thumb. So I'm moving this one over here and then creating thumb. Scaling it down, maybe moving this one in a little bit, this one as well. And actually I think even this. Awesome. No, a little bit too much. So maybe just the Okay, that will do it, but now we see our arms are massively too long. So I'm selecting all the, or maybe L to select everything, and then Alt Shift to deselect the this loop. I see we have some problems with the edge loop now. Okay, and I'm moving that up. Awesome. So that will do it. Then I'm selecting this face over here and moving it closer to the body. But now the rotation of the hand is broken, so maybe select everything, rotate everything, and this way put it in place. Then move this one down a little bit to the character, and also we can adjust this one. Awesome. That will do it. Now we need to add some extra geometry in case we want to animate later on. So for the hand, just above it, I'm adding one extra edge loop. Then we need to decide where the elbow will be, and I think somewhere here will be good, but we'll need to move this edge a little bit down. So if you press, so basically if you try to move it down like that, it will move the whole kind of geometry around it too. But if you tap the G twice, basically the edge will slide on the edges, so it will not break the shape of the arm. So that's what I've done over here. Now I press Alt, click on the edge to select edge loop, and Ctrl B to kind of bevel it. So I'm using the mouse wheel to add extra edge loop and confirming it. So this will do for the arm. This should animate pretty fine. And then for the body, I'm adding 2 edge loops over here. For the legs, depending on what we want to do, because we can want, like, for example, we may want to have the whole leg animated as one, so like the Lego characters or something like that. But I think we can add simply here, do exactly the same thing as for the arm, and then maybe even add over here small feet. So something like really, you know, just to indicate the feet is there. This really looks like a Lego character. Okay, so we have that. And now time to take care about our head. So I'm selecting it with L, scaling it down a little bit. Now the important thing is that the clipping has to be enabled. Okay, now move it down, scale it a little bit in X. Awesome. So that's the maybe still just a little bit to fix the shape. We can use the proportional editing. So I'm pressing O, making sure that here I have selected connected only. This way, when I move it, you see it does not affect the other geometry, only the connected one. If I wouldn't have it selected, basically everything else would be also affected. So connected only, and move it a little bit, something like that. Yes, I like it a little bit more. Maybe even select this edge over here without proportional editing already, and just adjust the size a little bit. Yeah, that will do it. And then I will only move the arm a little bit closer. I think the arms are a little bit too big, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to select one, scale it, and move it in the position. Or maybe no, they are too small, so I'm going to scale them. The hands should be much bigger, so I'm going to do that, and then move the arms over here. So let me see how it will look like. Yeah, no, that doesn't look right. That looks like Golem. So let's just get back to that. Maybe we can grab this and move it over here. and then select this edge loop and this and scale them a little bit, and this one the same. Yeah, I think that will do it. It looks a little bit like a female character now because of the body shape, so you may want to try to adjust that. Or, you know, if you want the female character, that will be alright too. So maybe we can leave that for a female character, and for the male character move those ones a little bit to the side so it's a little bit wider. Yep, that will do it. Then move this one in a little bit. So for the female character, I think we could also scale down the legs. So everything else then Z-axis. Whoops, I scaled there O as well, so L. Maybe a little bit longer legs. Okay, that will do it. So maybe also the shoulders should be a little bit smaller, like that. This will do it. Awesome. And for this character, this will also do it now. Okay, so we have our character. Let's just maybe, so they are the same size, move it here and just make sure they are the same. So let's just scale this one up. Okay, now we have the same height, and now let's just adjust their position. So we want to make sure they are both in 0Z. Move to edit mode, select everything and move them to be more or less at the 0. Awesome. So that, and for this character, that. So we have our character templates. Now let's use them to create multiple characters. So you can use those templates to create really variety of characters pretty quickly. So let's say I will grab the female character, duplicate it, and let's say I want to create an elf character. So I add over here 2 edge loops to have place for the ear, and over here another 2 edge loops. Then I'm scaling that in the Z-axis, then scaling it down in the Y-axis, extrude it, move it up a little bit, maybe rotate it in Z-axis a little bit, and then I think I can also bring this a little bit here. That will do it, and then even this one can go a little bit farther. I can try to rotate it even, and I have ears for the elf. Awesome. Then definitely our elf will need hair. So I'm selecting those faces, those over here, and those. Then pressing Alt and E and selecting extrude faces along normals. So that's the basic shape. Then I'm going to select those faces, extrude them to the front a little bit, grab this and move those so it has a little bit more shape. I can do the same thing with those ones. So awesome. Here I can grab those ones, extrude them down. Then also I can grab this face over here and extrude it, scale it, move it to the front, extrude it, scale it, move it to the front. Awesome. Now, depending on your artistic choice, you can go and stay with the square face, or you can modify slightly the geometry. You know, it's pretty easy to get a slightly better shape. So you see, I just moved some vertices and really that will do it. So over here, I'm pretty happy with the shape of the face. This is still a little bit too square for me, so I'm selecting this edge, going to proportional editing and moving it up a little bit. Awesome. So now the face is a little bit rounder. Okay, if you want to go a little bit crazier with her, you can add edge loop over here, for example. Select those ones. Make sure the clipping is disabled, because you don't want those two faces over here be treated as one. So you select those ones, Alt-E, extrude individual face. You extrude them a little bit, then change the basically the pivot point to the individual origins, and then whoops, we need to enable clipping again, and you scale it down a little bit. Then you can move it, and then, you know, as you want, you can go wild with it. You can do something like that, maybe a little bit more extrusions, maybe not, and so on, so on. So at this point is really all about how you feel and what you want to achieve. So we have her. Now we want probably some ears. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add cube. Here clipping has to be disabled. Moving it over here, scaling it down, moving here, scaling. And suddenly I have eyes. Now again, you may want to have brows, you may not want the brows, so let's say you want, so I'm duplicating this shape, scaling it down. I think we can make it a little bit more delicate by moving those here. And we have head finished. It will look much better once we add colors, so don't worry about that. If you do not see details over here, there are some extra options which make it easier. So for example, the wireframe. So you can suddenly see everything here, and over here you can also put shadows and cavities. So it's suddenly much easier to work with because you see much more details. So we have that. Then we go to the body and we need to decide what kind of armor we want the character to have. So I think I'm going to go with something very easy. So I'm just going to add belt over here. So extrude those faces. Then add edge loop over here and also extrude this. So this will be the belt. Okay. And maybe the shoulder pads. So I'm going to extrude this face. Select those faces, extrude them too, maybe add loop cut over here, and move that here, and that up a little bit. So I have shoulder pads, and maybe the arm thingies. I have no idea how they call it in English. So but I think you know what I mean, like this part of the armor. So let's add another edge loop over here, so part will be made of leather and part will be made of metal. Amazing. Now for the legs, I think we can add, for example, edge loop over here, or even another one just above that, and scale that up. Then move it a little bit back. And those two maybe move a little bit down. Yeah, that looks quite cool. So that will do it. And you see suddenly within what? 7 minutes we have the characters. So now let's quickly add colors to it. So I'm moving over here to the material preview mode and going to the materials. I'm pressing new and selecting first color for skin. So I go and call it skin. Our elf may have maybe a little bit bluish skin, something like that. I disable specularity and put full roughness. Now I go to edit mode, select the eye, add another material, select skin, clone it so I don't have to adjust the roughness and specularity. I call it deep black and just go with the deep black color. Ooh, Awesome. Then we need to adjust the hair, so I'm selecting that. Here, this will be a little bit more fun to select. So first I select this edge loop, not edge loop, face loop. So this will make sure that all those ones are selected. Now I press C to, to have this circle to paint with. You can adjust its size with the mouse wheel, and it will really help you quickly select a lot of faces. So you see, I'm just painting over the faces I want to select, and having them selected. Awesome. So now a little bit problematic area are those hair over under. So there are multiple ways we can do that. I can just try to get here. You can go to the wireframe mode, try to work with it. You could select all other parts. So for example, body. And actually I'm going to show you that because this is an amazing tip. So I'm selecting everything here by pressing L and then H to hide this one. And you see this suddenly gives me much easier access to this area. So this is really, really fantastic tip, and it makes life much easier, seriously. So over here, no, I don't want this one. I want this, and then painting again. And then we also want to select the brow. I'm adding new material, selecting whatever material we have, duplicating it and calling it hair. So we can try with blonde, but this will be pretty tough to make it look nice. So, or maybe something like that, a little bit reddish hair. Awesome. Now we select everything, press Alt and H to show the other parts of the body that we hidden, and now we can select the armor. In case you suspect that there is something wrong with geometry and you have some extra vertices somewhere, or you duplicated something accidentally or something, you can press A, then M, and then merge by distance. And it will merge every vertex at the same position. You can try to adjust it a little bit higher just in case you moved something a little bit, but now it looks like everything is all right. So selecting the armor. Okay. And maybe also this trousers. Okay, also this one. And for that I can create new material. Whoops, I could duplicate the material that we had, for example skin, and call it green cloth. And then select a color, maybe something, no, a little bit darker, and I think more desaturated, though, something like, yeah, even going into the yellow spectrum. Okay, that will do it. Then we select those edges, we paint over here, the bottom edges, whoops, wrong one, the faces, yes. And I would like this one to be from the same material as well. So I'm selecting those. And actually the belt as well. So belt. I'm deselecting those ones because that will be made of metal. And you see I have extra face here, which I don't need. I will take care about that in a second. So I have selected those ones and add another material. Call it leather. Okay, here, something like that, assign, awesome. So now I have to clean up this face over here. I go to edit mode. I want to see faces. And yes, I have two faces over here, which I don't need. So I'm selecting them, deleting, and done. So now to make sure that the faces are, that there is no gap, I'm selecting the whole edge loop, going to the modifiers, enable clipping, move in as far as possible. This way I can make sure that they are combined. I see that I missed this one over here. So from the bottom, I think we can just add the deep black color, and this will work fine. For this part over here, we can add metal. So over here, well, and over here, and also the belt. Okay. And of course, maybe let's do that too. So here, and we can plus select the skin, copy, and adjust the color to be something a little bit like that. And I think our first character is finished. If you want to paint, for example, different parts in different colors, so like not have everything split in half, you will have to basically, let me just move this character here. You will have to apply the modifier. So for that you cannot be in the edit mode, apply, or can you? Just let me check. No, you won't be able to do that. You have to go out of edit mode, apply it, and now you can select other colors. So for example, I could make this part for example, black, right? So, and then this leg too. So for example, this will and suddenly the character is a little bit more interesting. Also, you can go a little bit crazy with some other ideas. Just want to show you a small tip. So for example, you can use knife to create some extra geometry. It's a very bad idea, but when you do low poly, this is not as problematic because in general the animation will not be having any problems with that. So okay, let's for example do that. Or maybe hide the brow as well. So LH. Ah. And now let me show you the trick. So for example, something like that. And then for example over here we could have a like, you know, oh, we didn't rename it to metal. We could have a scar or something like that, right? So you see, so, and then maybe move it down. And suddenly you have war paint or metal or scar or something like that. So yeah, and of course then, I mean, you can get as well as, you know, so you could even extract it a little bit, extrude it, then it has a little bit of, you know, geometry to it, so the shadows are there. So, you know, there are many ways to go around that or about it. So I hope you enjoyed creating the elf. Let's now create something a little bit more modern. So now let's grab this character over here and create the male character. So we go back to the another mode, which is called solid mode. Awesome. And now let's create a British gentleman. So we'll need a hat for that. So let's create that first. Okay, that will do it. And over here I'm selecting the offset even, so it is exactly the same size, and extruding this face over here. Awesome, that will do it. For this character I choose to do not have ears. That is fine too. It's like stylistic choice. So I'm creating extra edge loop over here and moving this up and moving this down. We could actually add extra edge loop here and then just move this here. So I think you know where I'm going. I'm going to create hair over here. So I'm selecting those faces and extruding that. So that will give me some basic hair. Awesome. Then we'll need obviously eyes for him. So Shift A, cube. Okay, I see I have clipping enabled, so I disable clipping. Z, scale it. Also, the eyes could be part of the template itself, so you wouldn't have to create them every single time. So this is also another way you could do that. And then we'll maybe doing something like, no, yeah, something like that will work. Okay. Then we'll give the gentleman a suit. So for that we use K, so the same trick as for the scar. And I'm going to create a shape like that. And then another one for the tie, so something like that and something like that. This will do it. So for that I need to extrude this face a little bit. Awesome. And then also extrude the tie a little bit less. Awesome. So this looks all right. And to be fair, I think there's not much we need to do, so I can just add over here. By the way, if you hear strange sounds, sorry about that. There's a crazy storm going around and it's a little bit loud. So over here, something like that. And then maybe over here and something like that. So this will, or maybe even without that last face, yeah, that will do it, because if they are low poly, there's no sense with going with too many faces. So that, and maybe now just create over here an extra face, so we can extra loop, so we can create shoes or like separate them from the trousers. So that will do it, but I think this could be now a little bit smaller, so that's not too elegant. And if we want to make them very elegant, we can, for example, grab this and make that beautiful. Awesome. So that will do it. If we have this extra geometry, we can use it also for the shape of the feet, so we can do that. And I think time to add color to this guy. So this will be much simpler and much quicker. So we go to the material preview, we select that, and we can reuse our material. So for that I'm selecting DI, or maybe first let's start with skin. So human skin. Human skin. Let's select this color somewhere, oh, something like that. Specularity, roughness, and we can adjust it later, so that will be for now okay. Selecting deep black, assigning it to the eye. I'm going to do the same for, or maybe no, let's just copy deep black and call it not so deep black. And then increase the brightness a little bit. Now I'm just selecting the faces here, 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 here. Then I think it will be quicker to actually select the whole shapes. And then I think also for the hand. So not so deep black. Beautiful. Then I'm going to select the faces that I need to adjust. So for example, for this one, we need white cloth. So we're going to change, oops, let's copy it first. White cloth. Then I'm going to adjust the color to white, but not perfectly white. Assign. Then maybe we want red for the, okay, over here, the wrong face, so this one and this one. And for that we want the red cloth. We don't have red cloth, so once again over here. Awesome. Now we want the shoes to be leather, made of leather, so we select that. Oh no. Okay, okay. This worked better. For the shoes we can select leather, so let's make it bigger. Add new material, select leather, assign, awesome. Then the hands can be all white, so or the skin color, so we can do that. Selected everything, yeah. We can use the human skin, awesome. For here, just maybe let's add the white, so it looks like the shirt is going out. And now the only thing left is the RD hair. So for that we can make, for example, gray hair. So something like that. Okay, or maybe even a little bit more gray, something like that. I think we could move this one a little bit down, something like that. This will look much better. And then over here as well, something like that. And then maybe also extrude this. Here let's enable the clipping, extrude it once again, move it down, scale it a little bit, and add the color. And that will do it. That's much better. So I think actually the character could benefit from ears. It looks pretty weird without ears, so let's actually fix that. So I'm adding some edge loops over here, loop cuts. Then I'm selecting those, changing to median, scaling that, moving that over here, rotating. And this, yeah, that's too high, so I will need to move it down a little bit. Then we see we have this edge loop over here, which was not marked with the color, so now it's all right. So maybe let's move this one down too, and this one down too. So this will give it a little bit extra shape. Okay, something like that, and then too big. So that and human skin, and suddenly we have ears. And yes, that looks much better. Just we have to somehow figure out what to do with this. So for this one we can just again add some extra cuts, so over here, here and here. Let's start with that, then remove those two faces, and we'll realize that's not so easy to actually connect. So what we'll do, we'll extrude that over here, this has to be inside, connect those two and press F. This will create a wall for us. Over here, then we select this, press F, and we have two beautiful faces over there. We can adjust this, and beautiful. That's exactly what we needed. So maybe I would still adjust just this one, and we have our little gentleman. And now let's create the last character, that will be Futuristic Warrior. So I duplicated the female template, and first I will need some kind of helmet. So I'm adding loop cut here, and maybe another one over here. So this will be my like hole in the helmet. So for everything else I'm selecting, or maybe even like that, deselect this one and extrude that. Then I'm moving this face up, maybe with proportional editing, so it will be a little bit nicer. Awesome. Then maybe this one up a little bit too, and then extrude those two. Okay, that will do it. Then here maybe something like that. Scale it down, inset using I, and over here. So awesome. I think this hole over here should be bigger, so let's move that over here and this over here. Yeah, that will be much better. I don't know why I'm doing it in this terrible mode. Now much more visible what I'm doing. Okay, so we have the helmet. Yeah, we could, I'm thinking I would like to do one extra thing. So I'm rotating this one a little bit inside. Then I need to disable clipping and extrude that, and then scale it down and something like that. Yeah, down. And that was meant to be something like filters or something, but it doesn't look too good. Maybe if I inset that, extrude once again, scale it up without the proportional editing. Yeah, not bad. That's more or less what I wanted to achieve. But then I realized this could actually be together. So I'm removing this face, re-enable clipping, grabbing this and connecting it. And yes, I love it. That's more or less what I wanted. For the armor, let's maybe select this face, do that, extrude that to be very long. Let's turn it like that. Then maybe let's inset it, extrude it, and have something like that. Awesome. Over here, I think we could have a belt, but maybe first we should scale it down in X, I think, and now have the belt. Yeah, that looks a little bit nicer. Then I'm going to scale this one down. Awesome. Then I would like to have a backpack, so I'm going to extrude that, or maybe first extrude that, scale it down a little bit, and now extrude once again, scale it up so there is this visible like break. Then this down, maybe here, this one, inset it, extrude it, scale it, extrude it, and we have a jetpack. Awesome. So we have small jetpack. We could go here a little bit crazier, so we could, in general, futuristic things like I think have a lot of holes and stuff like that. So here, and that will do. Then we want to extrude those ones. Whoops, I still have those ones selected, so I need to make sure they are unselected. Select those ones, extrude that, move that down, scale it down, move this one down. Okay, so we have now armor plate. I need to, okay, the clipping is enabled, so everything fine there. Okay, so here I think it's all right. Maybe something to the legs, so something like over here, nope. Along normals, then over here, and then manifold. No, this will not work around. Maybe if I scale it along the normals and inside exactly what I wanted to achieve. That will do it. So we have our futuristic character, and now let's adjust the colors. So here I will want to go a little bit wider and wilder, I meant, and basically add some bright colors. So over here I would like this to be shiny, this to be shiny. What else? I think this over here and this over here. So those I would like to have, oh, of course this one. So for those I would like to create a new material. Okay, I need to first start by the default material that will be applied to everything. So I think for that I'm going to go with metal. So I'm not even going to, or maybe no, let's make our own pink metal. It's kind of, let's make it like a cyberpunky thing. So here, those exactly the same. So I have those faces that I previously selected. I copy the pink metal, call it shiny orange. And I change that to orange as sign. I go out of the edit mode and now over here I adjust the emission. To see how it looks like to have nice effect is good to go over here to render properties and enable the ambient occlusion and bloom. And yeah, this should do the job, but I think our emission strength is too small. No, so we can readjust the bloom over here, so we can give it a little bit small threshold. Over here, yeah, in the render it looks much better, but we'll be adding here a little bit of extra light. So let's go back over here. And I just realized I don't like the orange color, so maybe instead of orange, we'll adjust the name in a moment, we'll have something like that, like a very blue one. Yeah, that will be much better, so let's do that. Oh yes, that's much nicer. Okay. So for arms, again, I go to wireframe mode and select everything using C. So like that. Here I will add the human skin. Let's maybe make it a little bit into kind of dress. Let's say it's a female character, so something like that. Maybe this one. Move up. Then legs could be, for example, that could be also human skin. So we will have a pink cyberpunk warrior. Okay, so I need, this could use a little bit of color variety, so let's select that. Let's add another material, maybe the metal one. No, I don't like, maybe the pink just doesn't work here. What other color could work for that? Oh, that looks nice actually. So let's just metal. Okay. Yeah, that's much better, I think. So then we can add extra colors. So for example, for the arm, we can select the whole arm, then deselect the human skin, metal. For those ones, we can select the the thingy that the flame is going out of. Over here. And over here, let's make it metal 2. Yeah, and I think that will do it. So we'll have our warrior. And those are our 3 characters, or almost 4 characters, that we created today. So in the next episode we'll rig them and use Mixamo for the animations, and after that we'll basically animate them ourselves in Blender, in case you need a custom animation or something like that. So, see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a fantastic day, love you, and bye bye.